My name is Michael Granville II. I'm known for running the 800 meters in 1:46.45 as a high schooler, which is still the national high school record. So my dad was collegiate runner for Cal State Northridge. He's from the era where they used to run the 660. I mean, if they still ran the 660, I think he would have made it to the Olympics in that. That was his ideal race. I think secretly he wanted to create a son to be a half miler, and I think he succeeded in that. He came from a coaching aspect of just a dash of everything. He wanted to mix everything in the races. He was a creator, a big time motivator. And truly a student of the sport. Before Google anything, he would actually go and research papers, research times. And so I had on the wall just names of all kind of half milers. So he would train me unorthodox. I wouldn't really run on the track. He felt like it was best to run out in the elements on a big grass field, so where you can run. One, save my legs when I hit pounding on the track so much. Two, running on grass, he thinks it'll help lift my feet, so I get more of a go. And then when I get on the track, he feels like, you know, you can get more turnover through that way because you don't have to dig, you know, on the ground. With jump rope, he trained me as a boxer, as another way of keeping my endurance up without smashing my legs, and that was a way to keep my wind and tenacity up. Like Muhammad Ali was always going on in our house. Like that was, besides Jesus, it was Muhammad Ali. And then Rocky, we would watch all these Rocky ones. We would watch Rocky 3 when Mr. T would say, win alone, train alone. He took hold on that. He felt like being a champion, you just have to be secluded and just focus on that at every given moment, which, you know, there's this plus or minuses to it. But so the day I ran that 800 meters was the prelims of the state champion, 1996. Usually before a race, my dad, if in a perfect world, he wouldn't have me go to school or do anything the week before. So I was pretty much calm, but this was my senior year. I was pretty relaxed, but he allowed me to go get an award for something at school earlier that day. Kind of crazy twist what happened. He had my mom take us to school and I got some award. I think it's for top 5 or top 10 for GPA. And then coming home, we were probably a little bit late. My dad's pretty strict on time and being punctual, and we showed up late, and he let us know how upset he was about that. And I wrote a story about it, and he kind of went to a whole whirlwind of just chaos. Prelims didn't start till later that afternoon, so I just remember contemplating like, dang, this is crazy. What's going on? I'm supposed to be relaxed, and now this is happening. And I remember my younger brother, he's just in amongst all that crazy stuff. And from a 5-year-old, I got my brother by about 12 years, so he was about 5 or 6 years old at the time, yeah. And he just sits right next to me and says, whatever you do, can you please break that record? And making it seem like that will make peace in the house. And being the big brother, I said, okay. My goal was to just run to oblivion. Like I said, I'm gonna end my life on the track today, and it's gonna happen at the 600 meter mark, because I'm just gonna run as fast as I can for that long, and whatever happens after that, happens. When I got out, I wanted to get out crazy fast. I didn't really feel the first lap. I just remember thinking about that third 200. And that's where it's all going to happen. And so in my mind, when I seen the coming across the 400 meters, in my mind, I put off a gun like, this is where the race starts. This is where something's going to happen. And I took off running, and I am just flying. I can see this stride, and the look in my eyes is just, that's what I was gunning for. Going from the 600 to the 700. It was so silent on that turn. One, because nobody was around me. Two, the crowds were on the side, and it was just, apparently something was happening. And I was just so in the zone, I was just saying, well, I'm still fine. And then as I'm coming off with the last 100 meters, I hear my dad's voice, and he says some crazy time like 129 or something. And I was like, And I did the math. I was like, man, if I can get down this track, I think I got a record. And so I started running, and then I started hearing the crowd a little bit more. And about 50 meters to go, I felt like my legs were tree trunks. Instantly, I felt everything that I did that third 200, the last 50. And truly, I felt like I was running with both feet on the ground at a time and just inching. I could see the clock. And as I went through, I felt like I got it. You know, I thought I had it by a lot because, you know, the time clicks. But then looking back at it, it was 46:45. The record before was from George Kirsch at 1:46:58 that he set in 1987. So that was the race. I was really happy, and I felt like, okay, that's it. I got the record. Let me start the summer. So
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, first one to 50 shoulder taps. So you're in a push-up position. 50 total. Just try not to wiggle the hips.
I just found myself around fitness, right? And so I was doing personal training, everything from tennis, soccer, to just overall fitness. And once I started my own business, G-Fit Boot Camp, I noticed I had more time in my day, and I wanted to give back to youth sports. So I went around and said I would volunteer some of my time to help out with kids with blocks or whatever I can do to help out with kids. And then the local high school, Palo Alto High School, was like, how about we just hire you? You know, I think it'll be, and I was totally honored, totally shocked. You know, it was a team full of 200 kids. I started off with cross-country coaching, and I've done maybe 5 cross-country races in my life, but it was something that, it was a learning experience and something I will cherish for the rest of my life. So being able to start a business and open up some time gave me an experience that's going to last a lifetime. So I started coaching cross-country fall 2016, and here's 2018, finishing my 2nd season as a track coach as well at the high school.
Got it. Good job. Oh, punching. Good. Good.
Yeah, so I have my wife's Marie, and we have 2 boys. Isaiah, he's about 10 years old, about this tall, and Noah, 7-year-old, about that tall. And he's like, if anybody, he might be the next person to break the record in 800 meters. I mean, I'm pretty sure he can dunk by the time he's in the 7th grade. He has that much kind of spring and pop, total athlete. I play with him. I have all the equipment. I didn't really start doing any serious sports till I was like 10 or anything, because I'm from that kind of background, just go out and let kids play. But you know, secretly I'm working on skills. I bring out ladders, I bring out sleds, medicine balls. So we're playing, but it's with some serious, you know, equipment. They're throwing tight spirals, we're doing agility. So whatever sport that they will love to do, they'll be ready for anything. My son, one time, I guess my wife was trying to get him into a sport, trying to figure out if he wanted to be in the sport, right? And one day I was driving him back home. I guess he was feeling a little pressure from there, and they can always talk to me. He goes, "Dad, you know, my mom was trying to suggest that I play a sport or do something. You know, maybe I'm not the kid that does a sport. You know, maybe that's just something that I don't." I say, "I understand, but you're at Granville. You still have to work out." So he goes, "Oh, how about water polo?" so he at that point I was like, "You don't have to do a sport, but you know, we're all about that fit life." So he got that part of it. So.